We are live.
Yay.
Nobody in here yet, but it hasn't taken very long. I've been going live every day this month, and
I've caught
I
several
was
of them.
oh okay. Well, sometimes I can't see who's coming. I'm busy talking to the people,
I
and
know.
or
I know.
so
Yeah.
I
I
don't
saw
always
the
see
one you did on
everybody come.
Christmas cookies.
Christmas cookies.
That was with Alicia, I think. Alyssa,
Mm,
Alicia. You were talking about frosted Christmas cookies.
oh, you mean I did a podcast?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That was
Oh
good.
well, we have one person in here.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. I don't care if anybody
Okay.
comes as long as I get to
All
talk
right.
to you. So
All
let's just
right.
talk. If they show up, great. If they don't, I don't care.
Good morning. Well, it's morning here at least. My name is Brandon Elrich, and my publication is Brandon Elrich is So Gay. And I'm here today with Karen Marie Shelton. And I've been with Karen Marie before. Last time we were on video, we smeared crap on our faces.
We
Hello,
did.
so.
I said so. Yes, we did. We smeared mango. My husband was like, "What is this stinky mango you have in the refrigerator?" I said, "Oh, Brandon made me buy it."
Yeah. Or yeah, there you go. Just you can
I
blame it on me. That's fine. That's
I did. I blamed you, and he's like, "What are you going to do with that?" And then I said, "We might do some more recipes." He goes, "Oh my God, Lord help us."
fine. I still have some because you told me it would be good frozen, so I put it in a couple different containers and put it in the freezer for later. So
It is good
I
frozen.
still have it.
Me too, because
I
it's
need to
big.
I
It's a
need to
big
get it
old
out.
monster. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know if I want to do it every day until it's gone. I was like, maybe I'll save it for special occasion or whatever. And
That's good. Special date or something
yeah,
for date
yeah,
night. Wear
right.
it on the date night.
As if I have any of those. But
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wear it on the date night. Yeah, scare them off.
That would be good. It would certainly make hello, Ms. H. So good to see you. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Yes, so that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yes. So I don't remember when I think I contacted you at the beginning of the month or maybe before the month started. I don't know. But I told you as I'm telling everybody else that I've been going live every day in December. And I thought at the beginning that I was going to have to do a lot of these by myself because I didn't know how many people I'd get to come on with me, scheduling and holidays and all that. But I've gone live with another guest almost every day throughout December, and I've
I'm
talked
very
to a
impressed.
variety of different people, and a few of them who have never been on live videos before. I talked to Ginger Cook a couple weeks ago. She had never been on a live before, and a couple other people. I'll be talking to Ginny O'Connor next week. I don't think I've seen her on a video. She writes Down the Rabbit Hole, but anyway. So here we are with Karen, and she told me that she has a cookbook that she just wrapped up or
Yep.
just finished up. Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, I'll just let you just go ahead. Just tell us what you want to tell us about your cookbook.
Very weird. The first book I ever wrote and published was a true crime book, and it's still doing okay. And the premise behind that, I don't like to just write a book to entertain myself or other people. I know that's probably weird, but the first book I wrote was How to Avoid Being Murdered on Dating Apps. And it had true stories about people who were murdered on dating apps. I mean, real life stories. And then in the back, there was this comprehensive guide to all the things you should look out for, red flags and what to do if you get in that situation. And so it was kind of a true crime meets self-help. And it's been out now for a couple of years. It still sells a little bit. I don't really market it much, but I wrote my second version, How Not to Be Murdered by Your Children. And I have the draft form. Unfortunately, it's not published in time for this terrible incident that just happened in Hollywood, but
Uh,
I do talk about, true life cases and what to do if you think you're going to be murdered by your children. And a little side note, my husband has a child from a previous relationship. I guess that makes me a pseudo stepmother-ish. Anyway, he married kind of sketchy person that we weren't too thrilled about when he was in his mid-20s. And it got back to us that she was thinking that they should go ahead and murder us so he could get his inheritance, which there was no
Oh,
inheritance. And when we found out about this, my husband called his son and said, "Well, if you murder us, Karen's already written a essay about it and sent it to her friends. So if you murder us, they'll all know you did it. Plus, you're not getting any inheritance because we don't have any money." And so that kind of squashed that thing. But I said, "Oh my God, can you imagine if you have to worry about being murdered by your children?" And hello, it happens. So that
yeah.
draft is my editor on that draft has been bugging me a lot lately. So I will probably get that finished early in 26. But anyway, so I have written books before. And this year has been super crazy. My husband and I launched a new social media slash writers platform slash it's a hybrid. It's a little bit of Medium, meets a little bit of Substack, meets Quora because there's question and answers, meets Reddit because there's a new message board it was launched. We're going to put it up for real. We've been working on it for 6 months. It's going to go up this week right after Christmas, where you can do Reddit kind of posts, and we've got musings and we've got video. We're adding audio. Eventually we'll have lives. But right now it's free. Everything's free. And so we're slowly and quietly promoting it a little bit, inviting writers to come. And it's slowly building. You've been there and several other people have been there. And it takes
Yeah.
time to build. Back in 1995, I started the first ever hair and beauty website on the internet called hairboutique.com. It was the first one, and I did it myself. I wasn't married to my husband then. I knew him, but we weren't anything. And I wrote the whole site in HTML. It's still live 30 plus years later. I still update it. We still get traffic. We get a lot of traffic. And it's all out here in beauty. And so we decided we would do this because I was frustrated with the writing platforms that were out there. I was frustrated. I won't mention names, but I was frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I would complain to my husband about it. He goes, "Well, you know how to write software, you know how to build websites. Why don't you build your own?" I go, "Why don't you build your own?" So he did. He built it. It took him about 2 years to build it in his spare time. And then early this year, January, we went live to a small audience. And for a while, it was invitation only. But I guess in July, August, we opened it up for anybody to pop in. And our first person that we hired is a social media guru. She's very good at traffic building and all that. And her favorite site is Pinterest. She's a guru at Pinterest. She gets massive traffic from Pinterest. And she said, "Well, I'll help you guys build traffic for Sayzio.com, SAYZIO.com.
Yeah.
But,
Actually, I just put the link, just the web. I just put the
oh, thank
website
you.
in
Thank you
the
so much.
chat. If
Everyone's
you
welcome, you know.
want to
And
check it out.
And she said, "But I want to promote it to Pinterest first. I don't want, because I said, well, let's do Quora because it's got Q&A or, it's a writer's platform. Let's let everybody know they can come and write short form like Instagram, or they can write long form like some other sites. We're going to eventually have lives. Right now, you can post videos, as you know. They're going to be longer like TikTok. So we are a hybrid. We give you a little bit of everything. And she said, "Well, I want to do Pinterest and I'll work for you if I can do Pinterest." And we said, "Okay." So she started doing all this stuff with Pinterest, and she called me up. It was in October. And another side note, I started graduate school. I'm learning how to be basically work for a hedge fund. I'm learning all about options and investing. It's hell, but it's through a program through NYU. It's a 2-year master's level program, and you have to go to class every week for several hours, do lots of homework, take tests. So there I am in graduate school, and we're launching this new company, and I'm keeping Hair Boutique going. And this woman calls me up and she said, "You have to write a book." I'm like, "Excuse me?" And she goes, "Could you write a cookbook?" I'm like, I don't know. So I said, "Let me get back to you." She said, "Well, if you can't write a cookbook, could you write a book on hair?" I go, "Well, yeah, I could write a book on hair. That would be easy." And she said, "Well, I think a cookbook would do better on Pinterest." I'm like, okay. So I went out into my garage, which has hundreds, literally, if you ever come visit, you'll see it, hundreds of stacks of these white paper boxes because we've moved 5 times in 5 years, and every time we'd move, I just throw everything in boxes and I would never unpack them, and then we'd move again and I'd never unpack them. And so, whenever I'm frustrated or freaking out a little bit about school or whatever, I go out in the garage and dig through boxes. So right after she asked me if I could write a book, this was October, if I could write a cookbook, I'm like, when? I don't sleep. I go to school. I work on these companies. When am I going to write a cookbook? And so she said, well, think about it. And I was out going through the boxes and I found all these boxes with old recipes from my German grandmother and from my Irish grandmother and from my aunts and from friends of mine that are no longer alive that I love and have memories of. And so I walked in and I had these 2 boxes with all these recipes and pages of notes on, some of them, the recipes are over 100 years old. And I sat there and I looked at them and I go, well, I've made a lot of these recipes. I know how to make them. I'm actually pretty good at cooking things and baking things. I did that a lot when I was younger. Maybe I'll try making some of these recipes and see if they're good. So I started making some and they turned out really well and my husband loved them. And so I called the woman up and I go, okay, I can write a cookbook. Can I write a vintage cookbook with my family memories in it? Make it kind of
Oh
a
yeah.
recipes meet memoir. And she goes,
Oh yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's a really good idea. So between her and I, in a 3-week time period, we wrote a 130-page cookbook. I wrote it. She's a really good artist. She's a brilliant artist. I wrote it. She got all the pictures put together and edited the pictures. She's also a great editor. And so between her and I, we edited it. It's got 37 recipes. It's each one has.
Oh, Karen disappeared. I wonder if she got a notification that kicked her out or something. I'm going to invite her again. Don't know what happened there. Oh, Karen Marie joined the chat. I sent you another invitation, Karen.
Yes, that
Well,
was that was weird.
yeah,
That was
yeah, it was
weird.
just.
Weird.
I
So
thought maybe sometimes when people get a notification or something that disrupts
that's what
everything.
happened. I got a notification that dropped my screen. Anyway,
Uh,
so I put all the recipes together and we organized them according to desserts versus main courses versus appetizers. And they're really old recipes. Like my one grandmother came from Ireland. I mean, she was born in Ireland. And so all her cooking was Irish. And I found her original Irish soda bread. So that's in there. My other grandmother was German. She was born in the US, but she lived on a farm in Missouri near Mexico,
oh yeah.
Missouri,
Oh right.
by
Yeah.
Columbia, not too far.
Yeah.
And the farm was pretty, it was like a 240-acre farm. And so we'd spend summers on the farm and but they wanted chicken for dinner. They'd go get a chicken out of the hen house and kill it. They had fresh eggs. They had a big garden. They would go to the farmer's market with all their stuff and sell it. She made all her own bread. So I have some of her German recipes in there. And then my husband was very close to his grandmother and she used to own a restaurant. So he has some of her vintage recipes that we made. And between this other woman, her name is CJ, between CJ and I, we whipped this cookbook out in 3 weeks, 37 recipes, 130 pages. It's beautiful.
Now,
And
let me just tell you, I know how much how much time it usually takes to write a book and stuff. 3 weeks is very ambitious, and that is a lot to get done in that amount of time. So that is
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah,
that's
and Robin
crazy.
Wilding thinks I'm a vampire. She says I never sleep. Well, I almost did not sleep during that 3-week period, and I was still in school getting ready for finals and a white. My husband's like, you're gonna like have a nervous breakdown, or you're just gonna pass out and never wake up, or whatever." But
Well, that's one thing I was thinking too when you were talking about all this stuff. I'm like, Karen, I think it doesn't sound like you have enough to do. I think you need to add something else to your list or something because
oh yeah, I have to do
there's just
something. Yeah,
I mean
yeah, I have to
there's
do
not
something.
enough there.
But that's why I wasn't doing lives. But anyway, the whole
Yeah.
purpose of the cookbook was we're going to sell it on Pinterest. And it has a deal that, you can get if you buy it through Pinterest, we have what they call funnels where we put up the advertisement, you click on it and you can get a special discount price and it downloads immediately. And it gives all the recipes.
Hmm.
We tested them. CJ also cooks, and she said, "Well, we can't publish any of these recipes without testing them." So between her
Yeah.
and I and one other friend, we made all 37 recipes while we were writing the book. We adjusted because some of my grandmother would say, "Oh, a pinch of that." I'm like, "What's a pinch?" Or
Yeah. Right.
or butter the pan, like, what? How much butter? But it's not a quick and easy. It's not come home from work and be tired and whip it up. No, it's a weekend. Oh, let's make original soda bread, or there's a killer recipe in there for biscuits and gravy that are related to my late husband, a recipe that he loved. And there's a story about each person, how I knew them, what they meant to me in my life. So it's memoir meets cookbook. And eventually it'll be available free, eventually, on Sazio if you join the membership program, which we're eventually going to launch
Oh, okay.
sometime in 2026. And it's not going to be expensive. It's going to be equivalent to like what people pay on Medium, or, Quora's $5 a month if you don't want ads. And it's not going to be a lot of money, but enough to help us pay for our expenses because we have big monster servers who are offshore. We have software, all that junk. And we want to pay writers. So if we
Yeah.
make money, a lot of it we're going to put aside to pay our writers who come and join, just like they do on, like Substack. And we'll eventually offer newsletters like Substack will, but that's a little down the road. We're growing, as
Yeah.
you know, very fast. But anyway, the cookbook will eventually be available. We're going to advertise the cookbook where you can buy it or come to Sazio across the internet. We're going to do an ad campaign on Reddit starting in 26 and Quora, and it's going to be on Hair Boutique, which gets about 200,000 visitors a month. That's kind of good traffic, but it's been
Mhm.
around for 30 years. And, I'm going to talk about it on my other platforms where I write, and it'll be there. But so it went so well, and we were so organized. And I think it was from doing that first book. I knew how to write a book because I already wrote a book. I've actually written 2 books, just only one was published. And I did it each time. I've done it better, more organized, more thorough. Like in my head, I know what I need to do. And so this went so fast, and it was crazy. I just couldn't even believe it. I thought, I'm not even doing drugs. And we didn't use any AI, by the way. It's all handwritten by me, or she did the graphics, all handwritten. People are like, "Oh, did you use AI?" I'm like, "No, these are real recipes from real people who really were alive." Like, for example, am I talking too much?
No, well, I was gonna insert a couple of things, but I'm really impressed by the time frame because, like when you were saying, all these recipes go along with you have stories to go along with all of those. That's the part that I think would take a long time, thinking, going back to these recipes and figuring out who they were from and how you were related and how where how they came up with them or that kind of thing. It seems like that would take a long time.
Not really. The recipes were the hardest because we had to be
Oh,
really careful. In fact,
oh, right, yeah,
we put
like
a
altering them
disclaimer.
and
Yeah, we put a
yeah,
disclaimer in there that, "Hey, we did our best to give you the absolute information, but if you don't measure well, or, you just wing it, you don't measure your baking powder or your flour and it turns out wonky, we're sorry, but, you have to follow a recipe." And it's not for the faint of heart. Like I said, it's not one of these easy throw something together. It's like,
yeah,
oh, there's a lot of ingredients, and some of them are a little but the food, when you make the recipe, unbelievably amazing. It's the old-fashioned, like, when you'd go to grandma's house and you'd eat the food and you'd be like, "I can't believe how good this food is." And, in today's world where everything is plastic, even plastic cheese,
yeah,
when you make nachos, you rip open a bag and throw the cheese on it instead of shredding it and stuff. But I do have one. Well, there's a lot of great stories in there. In fact, there's a couple in there that'll make you laugh, a couple will make you cry, but there's one really good story in there. When I was 15, I grew up in everybody knows this, but I grew up in a very abusive home. And I left home when I was 15, and I was working, so I had money, but I had to walk everywhere to school and back. And St. Louis gets really cold, like it's in Missouri.
right,
So I had a high school friend whose parents were Irish. He was an Irish cop, and the mother was an Irish school teacher, and they had 8 kids. And she told them that I was basically homeless. And they invited me into their home, and they kind of adopted me sorta. Like, I could stay there anytime I needed food, I could sleep there, and they took me shoe shopping, and they just treated me like one of the kids. And every weekend or so, well, about twice a month, the dad, the Irish cop, would go out in the backyard when the weather was nice, and he'd fry a big turkey. He had one of those big fryers, and he had the tongs
Yeah.
where they lower the turkey in, and he'd wear the goggles, and the oil would spatter everywhere, and I would go out there and I would help him, and we'd be sitting out there with our goggles frying these big monster turkeys that were gonna feed like 10 or 12 or 13 people, right? And it was so fun, and when I found my notes on him frying that turkey, and it was in the garage in one of the boxes, and I started to cry because I never really got to tell. Their name were the Brennans. I never really got to tell the Brennans how much they saved my life because as a
Oh, yeah.
15-year-old kid, even back when I was a 15-year-old, there were still predators out there. There were still terrible things that could happen to you. I could have frozen to death walking around, in the middle of winter. And they took me in and they took care of me and they made sure I had whatever I needed to get where I was going. And they really saved my life, and so that turkey recipe, when I was writing it, the memories about frying a turkey, I was crying my eyes out, so it was
Yeah.
very cathartic, the whole thing was kinda cathartic, and it's so weird, to write a cookbook. I mean, I
So
don't
how
think of
many
myself as a cookbook writer.
right. Well, that's something I have been thinking about doing as well. Like either yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like I have enough original recipes to make an entire cookbook out of right now, but I've got a few. I've come up with some on my own. I do baking videos and stuff, but um, yeah, that's something I'm looking at in sometime in the future, but it's kind of a big undertaking, and you've done an awesome job with it. How many recipes are there total in the book, or do you know?
37.
Yeah, you're completely done with it, right?
It's ready to go. It's in the funnel.
Okay.
All we have to do is push the button. In fact, we've been testing it to make sure when you click buy that you get the download, the PDF. And we were just testing it. It's through a server company that specializes in funnels. And the reason we put it in a funnel is because those are the way that they do things on Pinterest. We're doing everything to be Pinterest appropriate. I mean, we didn't do this.
Yeah.
We'll eventually, you can eventually buy it from other places. It's not going to be on Amazon. The whole purpose was because initially I said, I'll give it away for free if people come to Sazio, as a way to get
Yeah.
them to come
Right.
visit us. And actually, we are going to do more books. In fact, I've got two more I'm working on right now. One is vintage hair recipes because when I was starting Hair Boutique, I was experimenting on my hair all the time, which I know you can't see it, but I have hair down to my hips that I've been growing since 1988. And I tried everything under the sun. I put everything under the sun on my hair. And some of it was good, some of it was horrible, like castor oil, forget it. Anyway, I have a bunch of those recipes, and I'm probably going to do a vintage hair recipe book, which will probably be maybe 20, 25 recipes. And that will be available on hairboutique.com, also available free on Sazio because Hair Boutique, Sazio is Hair Boutique's little sister, basically, little brother. Sazio is a he, Hair Boutique's a she, but they're siblings,
Yeah.
and eventually there's going to be a bridge between the two. There'll be a door where you can go in between the sites if you want to. But there's going to be a vintage hair recipe. And I also have 200 articles I've written over the last 10 years on how to make money as a writer. And it's not any of the scammy stuff that you see, but real hardcore secrets because I've been writing my whole life. That'll be free. And there'll probably be a book on, different kinds of, I've got a ton of stuff. I might even start writing about how I got into because I'm studying options and it's a really kind of complicated, but it's a lot of fun. And maybe I'll write about the beginner's guide to options or something. But these are all going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
books that are written to promote Sazio or hairboutique.com or, not because I'm writing books to write books, but to give
Yeah.
people information.
So I'm on Sazio. I
Yay.
posted a video on. I made a simple pie crust,
It was
and
great.
I posted it on YouTube, and so I put the link on Sazio, put a little thing on
Thank
there.
you.
But
Thank you.
and I've written a couple of articles. I haven't put a lot on there. I was just talking to Walter Ryan yesterday. We're talking about writing and stuff, and for me, it's just it's hard to balance more than one platform for me because Substack takes so much time, and doing all these live videos, and in addition to I write articles and I do an audio podcast. So that's just a lot to deal with, and I kind of forget about like I'm on Medium too, but I'm very close to just
I know. I see
downgrading
you.
to it. Yeah.
I see you. I see you there.
Yeah.
I'm your
It's
editor.
just
That's
yeah,
how we met.
yeah. Yes, yes. And but
I
yeah,
still run Bouncing and Behaving. Did you know that? I've been running it now off
I
and on
think
for 3 years.
yeah, I figured you were still there as far as I knew, but I haven't put hardly anything in there lately, and I'm just to the point where I'm probably going to downgrade to a free membership. I'm not going to delete the account because
Yeah,
there's
why
no
should
point
you?
in. I mean, yeah, there's no reason to. I'll
Well, if you
just
care, I have lots of secrets that I can share with you.
well, I we might be talking later then. We'll see.
Okay, you want to just keep it? Yeah, you and I can talk privately, but I do have methods that I've used to help me get laser focused because in fact this morning I published an article on Medium under my ghost because on
Yeah,
Medium I'm a ghost. I mean, it used to
right.
be Karen, but there was a snafu and I was resurrected. I came back to life as a ghost who actually people like the ghost better than me, which is really weird and scary, but okay.
But now
It works.
you are Karen Marie on there too, right? Didn't you?
I do. Yeah, I was allowed to come back as Karen Marie, but you know what?
Okay.
When I was when this snafu happened, they put a kibosh on me. They put me in timeout. And at that point, I had 400 stories I'd written over 7 years. And so I took most of them off and rewrote them and republished them on Substack or on Hair Boutique or wherever I was writing. I write on Quora
Yeah.
too. And when they said I could come back, I didn't have much left. I would have had to start from scratch, and I lost all my followers. I used to have as Karen, I had 4,000 followers, and they all are gone, and my ghost has 2,500 followers, and they love her as the ghost. So, I just keep writing as the ghost, and the ghost is running the BB&Bs,
Right.
the what's his face? The renegade writer, the
Yeah. The mouthy renegade
Mouthy,
writer.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mouthy. He's
Yeah.
almost never there, hardly ever. A lot of the writers that we knew and love are almost never there, but here's what I
Right.
did today. I got up at 3 because I get up every day at 3 to write. I got up at 3, and before I went to bed, I had a draft sitting in my Medium about, big scams that happen on LinkedIn, shocking stuff that goes on, and it was actually a 5-minute story that when I went to bed, "It's not quite ready. I need to, think on it a little bit." So I got up at 3, I cleaned it up, ran it through my spell checker, listened to it, I always listen before I publish. Got it all cleaned up, published that. Then, I had a business call, and while I was doing that, I was putting up musings, which are the short forms of notes on
Right.
Sazio. Then I went through and edited 2 of my vintage hair recipes that I'm working on, and I read some proof pages on my true crime, my second true crime, How Not to Be Killed by Your Children. So I'm very organized, like super, but I've had to learn these little skills on how to be that organized. Otherwise, I could never do it. But I
Yeah.
did stop doing lives because they are a big time suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I've noticed that, but because like I said, I've been going live every day this month, and even after the live is over, you kind of you have to go in there and well, you don't have to, but I always go in
You
there and put
should.
my links in, and all
Yeah,
that,
you should.
and put it
Yep.
out there, and then you've got all the little clips and upload those to like if you're going to put them on TikTok or wherever
Yeah.
else,
Yeah. A lot of work.
that
A lot
is
of work.
it is a lot of time, but I've also gained a lot of subscribers by going live. So
Yeah, it's a really good way to do that. Yeah. Hello,
it's
Onyx
kind of hard.
Rose. What a beautiful
Yes,
name.
Onyx. Yeah,
What a
Onyx
beautiful name,
Rose
Onyx.
she was just on with me the day before yesterday. She's been on a couple times talking about her facial feminization surgery. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
if
I
you
need to
don't
go
know
back and
her,
listen to those.
yeah.
I need
And
to go
actually
listen.
I put a clip of that on TikTok, and it's gotten over 1,000 views on it already. And it's because more than 1,000 views for me on TikTok is really good because I don't do a whole lot on TikTok. I don't have a
Yeah, I
lot
don't
of
either. I
followers on there, but
I'm
it
on there, but I
that's
don't
a
get many followers. Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
it's done really well on there. So I haven't had a chance to tell her that. So she's just hearing this right now.
Very
But
cool,
yeah, the
Onyx. Very,
video's
very
gone
cool.
done really well.
Very cool. I
But
love that. I'm gonna go watch it. I wanna know more
yeah,
about that.
yeah, we
Unfortunately,
did. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead. No, no,
Oh,
no.
I was just gonna say we've done two videos. One of them was before her surgery, and then the next one was after she got out and kind of how it's going. So,
Ooh, I
but
wanna see that. Well, the only thing that I do on Substack that I commit to, I still write in Substack. In fact, I was gonna say, I also wrote a piece about my cookbook, introducing my cookbook, but I didn't publish it yet because we were still testing the download link. And I don't really want to publish about the book until I have the download link that people, if they want to go look at it, they can see it. It should be ready by Friday of this week. We're still testing the software to make, because we don't want anybody to hit download and then not get their cookbook, because that would be terrible. So we're
right,
still, yeah, and there's 7 different versions. So we're testing all the links, 7 links. But I do go there sometimes. I go to Substack every day for the daily whatever show
yeah,
that's on
yeah.
9 a.m. I have never missed a live broadcast
I was
since they
gonna ask if
started.
you were still going to that because I'm not in there very much anymore. I occasionally I catch an episode, but especially this month with all mine, I'm like I just need to. I can't spend all my time looking
I know.
at watching lives and stuff,
I
so
know.
I'm not in there as much anymore. But I figured
Yeah.
you probably still were.
Yeah,
But
I'm thinking about I haven't mentioned it to them, so I probably should ask them, but I'm thinking about writing a retrospective of, because it'll be like, well, they started in end of April. And I
oh
have
yeah,
not missed a single episode. Not I've been live. I've been present and live, even when I've had to only have one earbud in on them and one earbud on class. I've been there
yeah,
and I haven't missed it. I always take time to comment and say hello to everybody. But I was thinking about writing for Substack. Their top 25 guests, because they've had a lot of guests
oh
over the
yeah,
year. And I have like 25, probably. It would be really hard, but I have 25 that I could easily say these are the top 25 guests they've had on that I've really enjoyed.
yeah.
Not that anybody's been terrible. It's just there's some that, like Walter, like he's my number one
Yeah,
favorite, and you were on there. You were a favorite. You did a good one.
I've
And
been there 3 times, I think, this year. Three or actually 3 or 4 now. I
wow,
can't
that's pretty
remember.
good. Hi, Nancy.
Yeah.
Anyway, who was, who's the guy? I can't think of his name right now. He's the mouthy renegade sidekick, best friend, lives near
Oh, KR
him.
Byers.
Yeah, I really he was on twice and he was really great. And,
Yeah, he's gone
um,
on with me 3 times this month. So he told me he'd do it every week of December if I wanted him to. And
oh,
I
he did
was,
one with me, but I asked him to come back and we were going to do it again. And I just got busy and I didn't get to get him
yeah.
back, but he was lovely. I really enjoyed him and
Oh
the
yeah, he's
ogre,
a
of
really nice
course.
guy.
The
Yeah.
ogre, the ogre, I really like him, and so I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe what I would do is, because it's the end of the year, and celebrate the fact I've never missed an ever episode, that I would say these were my top 25 shows that they did, our
Yeah.
top 25 guests, which would,
You're gonna have to do
kind of,
something special at the end of in April too for the year
yeah,
anniversary.
yeah. Yeah, my husband's like, how do you keep doing that? And I said, I made a commitment to myself, not to them. They didn't ask me. I just said to myself, I'm not going to miss a show. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things that, it was crazy when I think about it. I think, you dummy, you should never have done that, because, I mean, they didn't ask me to. I just said, I'm going to
Well,
do it.
yeah, I can
And
understand. I do that too. I think of something I'm like I'm gonna do this, and I don't. Well, it's kind of like going live every day in December. That's like nobody told me to do that, and nobody's putting me, holding me accountable or anything. I just said that I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to go live every day, try to get more subscribers, try to start off 2026 on a good note, and so no matter what it is, I'm going live on Christmas Day even. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Do you
Just
have
at
people who
least
are gonna do it with you?
no, no on those days I haven't asked anybody. I'm not going to
I'll
ask
do it with you
anybody.
if you want. I'm available
Well, I might.
if you want. I'm a
Yeah.
backup. I promise not to
'Cause-
talk so much.
Oh, no, that's all right. I mean, I know you've got a lot going on, so I mean, like your cookbook. Well, I was going to ask one thing about your cookbook is like, do you have what kind of sections do you have, or do you have like main dishes, desserts,
Yep,
all that? I
yep,
mean,
yep. I have appetizers. I
okay,
have main
main dishes.
course,
Yeah.
breads. There's a few breads in there,
Oh,
like
okay.
Irish soda bread. There's vegetables. There's side dishes, like there's an incredible the macaroni and cheese. Oh my God, it is to die for. But you can serve it as a main dish. You can serve it as a side dish. And there's a really amazing desserts, and one of them is a cookie recipe. It's called Karen's Angel Cookies, and people have been begging me for years to give this recipe. I would not do it because I got it from a guy at work where I used to work at a software company years ago, and I badgered him to get the recipe. And he said to me, now you can give this to people, but don't just give it out willy nilly, only give it to special people. And so I didn't give it to anybody. And I've had that recipe now for about 20 years. And every time I make it, people flip out. And so I said, you know what? To show good faith in Sazio and in people who buy the cookbook, I'm giving them my angel cookie recipe. So it's in there,
Okay.
angel cookies.
Oh,
And
that's interesting. I like cooking. I like baking more than anything else. I
yeah,
mean, I cook too, of course, but I do love baking cookies and
yeah,
cakes,
there's cookies
cheesecakes
in there.
especially.
There's
Yeah.
cookies in there, and there's a really cool little dessert you can make with graham crackers and icing. It's kind of cool. It looks cool. It's easy to make, and it's pure sugar, but it's delicious. And whenever I'm just in the mood for chocolate, and that goes back, oh my God, 40 years. That recipe I found 40 years ago. I'm aging myself, but anyway, I do want to mention something you said about the problem with people where they don't want to be on multiple platforms. And that's one thing that we recognize would be an issue with Sazio because there's TikTok and there's Instagram and there's
Yeah.
Threads and there's Facebook. We knew that, but you know what? We already have Hair Boutique, and a lot of people, like I said, about 200,000 people come visit Hair Boutique every month. And I figured, okay, well, we'll just give them extra stuff if they want to come do other things. And someday, maybe these platforms that people are on won't be there anymore for whatever reason. Maybe they'll close down, or maybe they'll raise the price of their membership, or maybe people will stop writing there, and we'll be there as a backup. Hey, we're over here. We're not owned by billionaires. It's my
Yeah.
husband and I. Trust me, we are not even, millionaires. We're just hardworking people. And, we built it from scratch. He and I, we did all the software. We built everything ourselves. I did all the writing. He and I designed it. And so if people get upset because they're worried about government interference, well, we have no relationship to the government. All our servers are offshore. There's not going to be any type of, we're not going to be
Regulated.
shadow banning people. In fact, we're not going to ban people. If they get in trouble, we'll put them in timeout for a little while, but we do have a path back to the main ship, the mothership. They might be off the mothership for a little while, but we have a path to bring them back. We won't be like one site that I won't mention that purged hundreds of thousands of writers. Some of them didn't deserve to be purged, and they
Yeah.
were never
Yeah.
able to get back. We're not going to do that. We also have a lot of, things in place to monitor, to prevent any type of predators or scammers or romance scammers. So we've got it all covered. And, people are like, well, how can you do this? And I said, I've had an internet site for 30 years. Anything that could possibly happen has happened to us, trust me. So
Yeah.
this is like, yeah, we've already been here before for a long time. And so, people come. That's great. If they don't come, okay, we would love them to come. But, we're kind of doing it like, well, maybe someday there'll be a lot of um, reasons why you may not want to be on other places because of government interference or, and we love everybody. We love LGBTQ. We love trans. We love everybody. So,
Yeah.
everybody's welcome. It's not going to be a place where maybe it's not okay to be something, you know?
Yeah. 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 And since a lot of other people have joined, I just wanted to say that I'm talking to Carrie Marie Shelton. She and her husband have built this website called Sazio, and I'm on there. I posted a few articles and a couple videos, video links and stuff. And she has written a cookbook of a lot of a vintage cookbook. Is that what you would say it
Right.
is? Yeah.
Vintage Cookbook. That's the name of it. Vintage Cookbook. It's a
Okay. Oh,
memoir
that's
cookbook.
the title of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vintage
Yeah,
Cookbook.
and it
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
memoir stories to go along with the recipes. And I
Hmm.
kind of wanted to go back to your other book about the how not to get killed by your
Children.
children. Like
Yes.
I can't. Are you going to put the story in about your son or
Yeah.
your
Yes.
step whatever
My stepson. Yes. And his
stepson?
now
Yeah, yeah.
ex-wife. His now ex-wife.
Oh, okay. Well, that
They
part's
didn't
good.
make it. They didn't make it.
Well,
It
that's
was
not a
it was
surprise, is
it
it?
was
I
an
mean,
ill-conceived partnership, I will say.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
are will the Menendez brothers
Of
be included
course.
in it? Yeah,
They have to be. I mean,
yeah.
well, I
Oh,
don't
right,
know because now look what's happened in Hollywood with Rob Reiner. I mean, that's a
right.
classic, but no, the Menendez brothers. And, it's really interesting. I have other real life stories where there's one story that I don't know if it'll make it or not, but it's a true story that happened in Texas, here in Dallas, where a son wanted his parents to give him money for stuff and they wouldn't. And so he and his girlfriend went to an IHOP and they were hanging out at the IHOP and they had a server there that they really liked and she was hanging out with them drinking coffee and they said, "Oh, why don't we put together a plan to kill this guy's parents and then we'll get all the money." And they actually tried to kill the parents. I think, they didn't they actually did kill one of the parents but not both. And he went to jail for forever, but the funny part is it's not funny, it's not ha funny, but the whole
Yeah,
plot to kill the parents happened at an IHOP, I mean, who would imagine there you'd see 3 kids because they were pretty young in their 20s over there, having coffee and pancakes, plotting to kill one of their sets of parents. But it
yeah.
does happen.
I would have expected Waffle House.
I
No,
know
I
Waffle
just,
House would seem more appropriate than IHOP, but it's an actual true story that happened, but
yeah.
I'll like
That's
when the
crazy.
first book I did on how not to get killed on a dating app, those are real stories. And in fact, one of the stories that really upset me the most was this young woman she met somebody on a dating app and it was a scammy thing where they planned on murdering her all along. And she had a cat, and she went out on the date, but she never came home from the date, and for 3 days, they didn't know where she was, and I was so worried about her cat because, you don't think about these little details, you go on a date,
Yeah,
you get murdered on a dating app, meeting somebody from a dating app, who's gonna take care of your cat, right? I mean, that
yeah,
really bothered me, people are like, "What? Aren't you bothered that she got killed?" And I go, "Well, yeah, but you have to understand I researched, like, 200 stories of people that got killed on dating apps, and it's still happening." It is still crazy, and the stories are crazy, but they're
yeah.
true. They're all true, and, I try to I had one in there about, a guy, an LGBTQ guy who met, a guy on I guess, is it Tinder is the LGBTQ dating app? Is that the one, Tinder?
I mean, a lot of them. The Grinder is a
Grindr,
pretty
that's
big
where he
one.
met him, yeah, Grindr, yeah,
Okay.
and he went up for their first date. "Oh, there's Zach. I can see Zach.
Yeah,
Hi, Zach.
yeah.
I love Zach. What's Zach doing?"
Oh, he just got up and he came in here and started whining at me. He's a
Oh.
whiner. He's very codependent. But
Oh,
yeah,
I
speaking
love
of
that
Zach,
yeah,
we were
codependent, yeah.
we were our first live together was a cat chat that we did earlier this year, and I was really appreciative that you were my first.
It was very special to me.
Yes,
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 it was really good.
it
But
was
I
really
reviewed you
cool.
before from Medium. In fact, I
Right,
sent you a
right.
private message. We didn't know each other, and I was editing your stuff, and I just
Yes,
loved it. And I sent you a private message, and I said, "Oh my god, I'm a fan," or something like that, and I was. And you should take that as a huge compliment because there in the old days on Medium, when I was first editing that pub, we were getting 30 submissions a day that I was reading all of them. I was a primary editor. And every time your
Yeah.
stuff would come in, I'd go, oh my God, he's so good. I love his stuff.
Well, I really appreciate that. I enjoyed my time. I don't have much bad to say about Medium. I try not to, because it was a great platform for me. It did
For
a
a
lot
while, it
for
was
me.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I was part of a great community there, and it's just time for me to move on. I that's when I came to Substack. I mean, like I said, I'm still on Medium, but I'm not.
I,
I
yeah.
don't have a very big presence there anymore.
I don't have anything bad. I mean, I was devastated when that snafu happened because it was a miscommunication. It was, it could have easily been cleared up with a 15-minute phone conversation. It didn't have to
Yeah,
go the way it went. There was no ill intention. It was it was just a bunch of it was accidental, one of those weird quirks where, something happens and you're like, "Wow, how'd that happen? Weird." And it wasn't intentional, even though the person who got upset said it was not. You know me, I have a good heart. I would never
oh yeah,
deliberately do anything to harm anybody, but, and I didn't have a chance to tell anybody my side of the story. It was just, "You're in timeout." Wasn't even able to show any proof that what happened, and I had been on the platform 7 years at that point. I'd been paying my monthly dues every month for 7 years, and I told you I had created all these stories and had all these followers, and poof, in 1 second, I was gone. It was on a Friday, and I was just gone. And I still love them. I still write there. In fact, this morning at 3 a.m., I was writing a story on Medium. So, I still
yeah,
love them. I don't love that they don't pay like they used to. That's really hard.
yeah,
And I don't love that a lot of the writers that I really followed have left because of the low pay.
yeah,
But that's one thing I told my husband, the more people we get to Sazio who are willing to support us $5 a month or whatever, the more money we bring in, we're going to pay writers and we're going to pay them fair. And, like
yeah,
I said, it's just him and me. We're not going to be having a huge corporation. We're not going to be renting a big building. We're not going to go on corporate retreats where everybody flies in first class. I mean, any profit after expenses will go to the writers, and it may take a while to get there, but we're patient. Like I said, Hair Boutique's been around 30 years and it's not going anywhere. So as long as I'm still here, well, even if I'm not here, it's not going anywhere. So, you
yeah.
know, I really
So you,
appreciate that you've been there to Sazio.
yeah, yeah, and I'm excited to see where it goes, and I would like to figure out a way to have a kind of to construct my time in a way that I can do multiple things at once. And well,
Can I
right
tell
now
you a
I still
secret?
have. Oh yeah, go ahead.
How you can do multiple things at once?
What?
Seriously. Okay. So the number one problem that people don't recognize that writers Google does not like if you take one story and put it across multiple platforms. They don't like that. If you're
Yeah,
going to do that, here's the shortcut. This is the big secret because, I've studied SEO forever. Here's the big secret. Let's say you're going to write about Zach. You're going to write a story about your cat, Zach, and how he is obsessed with your feet, right?
yeah, yeah.
Is he still obsessed with your feet?
I mean, he still lays on my feet a lot, and he likes my socks. So
Oh,
yes,
he loves your socks. Okay, so he's a sock fanatic. Okay, or he has a fetish for your socks. Okay, so
right.
you write a story, a really cool story about Zach and his fetish for your socks. You take that story and you think, as you're writing it, you think about it. What platforms you want to put it on? Are you going to put it on Medium? Are you going to put it on Substack? Where are you going to put it? So before you even write it, you have sort of a framework in mind of where you're going to put it. Then you take and write the story for your primary platform. Let's say you decided it's going to be on Medium. Let's say you're going to write it primarily for Medium. Okay, so get the clip art or get the picture of Zach or whatever you're going to use, the artwork, the picture, the image, and get a really killer title and subtitle. You know already that. Put in the kicker
Yeah,
because on Medium you can do that. Then write your story. Then take that, get a different heading and subheading, get a different image, take the first paragraph, rewrite or move around the story a little bit, maybe, change around the paragraph numbers, and put paragraph 2 is 4 and 4 is 2. Just move it around a little bit. Spend maybe 10 minutes sort of just reconstructing it a little bit, and then publish it on Substack or publish it on Sazio or publish it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And Google will not ding you for multiple content. It will be viewed by them as individual, brand new content on every one of those platforms. So you have just taken a story about Zach and his fetish for your feet, and you've just populated it over 4 or maybe 5 platforms. And then you could take it and make it alive, talking about your cat has a fetish for
Right.
your feet. And you've already written the story, you already have the content. And right there, you have quadrupled what would have been an effort on one platform. Did you know those
Okay.
tricks?
No, no, I didn't.
Now you
Um,
do.
yeah, I didn't know how much you needed to change it in order, because I did know, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about SEO, but I have heard or read that the first place you put it is where Google is going to search for it first, I guess, or whatever, or it's going to be the main source. And if you put it somewhere else, they're going to kind of ignore that, basically.
They'll cancel it all out. Your first place will get canceled and all the secondary. So some of these
Oh,
people
okay.
that take a story and put it on Substack and then cut and paste it and put it on Medium and cut and paste it and put it on Facebook and cut and paste it and put it in, all of those are canceling each other out. Whereas if you do what I just told you, because I've done a lot of research on this, if you do exactly what I suggested, you're going to get in Google's eyes, oh, Brandon is creating 4 new pieces of content today. Yay, Brandon. And they will give you credit for all 4.
Okay.
So you
Well,
just
yeah, that is very
quadrupled your
interesting.
work. You just quadrupled your workday.
Hmm. Yeah, well, that makes me look at things a little differently.
Don't have to work as hard as you do, just work smart because you're really a
Yeah.
great writer. And, I have about 20 of those little tricks. If you and I want to talk, if you want to talk to me someday, do a Zoom or something, I'll share all of them with you because they've all worked for me. Like I have a bunch of tools that I use that help me. And I still don't use AI because, and in fact, I'm going to tell you do I have time? An interesting AI story.
Oh, yeah.
I had to do a final exam for this graduate school I'm in, and it was 86 questions, and it covered every week. We'd have a 2.5 to 3 hour Zoom class, live Zoom class, and it covered from August to December, and there was 86 questions, and it was some true and false, but some of it was right in, some of it was, multiple choice, and they put a lot of tricky questions in there. So I was sweating bullets. I studied and studied and studied. I did well. I I got an A on it. I was happy, but I was really nervous. And after the test was over, they sent you your test to show you what you got wrong. And I only got like a few answers wrong out of 86. But I went back and I read all the correct answers, the ones that I did wrong. And I said, I'm going to do a little experiment. So I took those questions and I put them into Chat GPT. And I asked the question to ChatGPT, and then I gave the answers that were on the test. Which of these 4 answers is correct? Every single question I asked, every single answer they gave me was wrong. Wrong. And I would even challenge ChatGPT and I'd say, no, I don't think this is the right answer. And they go, oh, you caught me. No, that's not the right answer.
Yeah, I know. Yes, they do that a lot. They're like, "Oh, you're right. It's actually this or whatever," and you're like, and sometimes it's still not. It's like, no, that's not it either.
And that's horrifying. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if some person who wasn't smart enough to know that you
Yeah,
cannot trust AI, if they sat there because you only had 2.5 hours to complete the test, it was timed, where they had a timer, and when it timed out, you were done. And anything you didn't answer went against you on your score. So you had to hustle. Like you had about less than a minute for each question. And some of them were hard questions. This was all financial investing. So there's a lot of algorithm, there's a lot of formulas, financial formulas, a lot of math. Like my head was blown. And so you had to keep moving through each one. And if you didn't know the answer, you went to the next one and came back around if you had time. Can you imagine if you used ChatGPT or Gemini to take your test? You would have gotten an F. I
yeah,
swear. It was
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, I've worked as an AI trainer
Oh, yeah.
for, and so I know how wrong they can be, and how, if you ask it to give you an itinerary, they'll send you places that have been closed for the last 2 years, or if you're taking if you say I'm taking a class of fourth graders, we need to on a field trip and we need to stop somewhere, they'll send you to a bar for the fourth graders to eat lunch or whatever. I mean, that happens. I tested them, and they did that. They'll send you on a
I do
bike
not use
ride.
AI for
They'll
that
send you on a
reason.
bike ride across a bay to get. It's like I can't ride a bike across the water.
No, no, no. Well, I won't use AI. In fact, people said to me, "Oh, did you use AI to write your cookbook?" Oh God, no. In fact, here's another short. I know we're running out of time. I could talk to you forever. Short, true story. Short, true story. I do astrology. I've done it since I
Yeah.
was 15, but I don't talk about it a lot because everybody thinks it's witchcraft and all that weird stuff.
Yes.
It's actually quite scientific. Anyway, I did a chart and I did it all out and I looked at it so I knew what it was supposed to be. I did it by hand. Then I asked ChatGPT to do the chart. And the chart they did was totally wrong. And so I said to ChatGPT, "You put all the planets in the wrong houses." And you know what it said to me? "It looks more asymmetrical when you do it your way versus my way, which was much more balanced and artistic." So they moved planets into houses because it looked pretty.
Well, maybe the Chat GPT is gay and
It could be.
wanted things to look better.
Do you think so?
Maybe so.
That's a good
I wrote
question.
well I I wrote an article about Chat. How did I put that? Chat GBF, gay boyfriend, or
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy, but
it
no.
was the new gay eye.
Yeah. I got news for you though. All these little tips I told you about, the one I just showed told you about the SEO and how Google will
Yeah,
love you
yeah.
if you do this little thing. I use that all the time. You wouldn't believe. Well, I've been writing my whole life. I've actually made a living as a writer. I was a technical writer. I was a software person that wrote all the documents. I've been paid to write forever. But I have all these tools and little tips and little secrets I've been using to keeping them all together. I am happy to share them with you because you're my friend and I just adore you.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Well, I appreciate the tip that you gave me today, but yeah, I would like to talk to you more about that kind of stuff.
yeah, and I also have a lot of hair tips. I can help you with your hair. So if
Well,
you
we
want to
have
grow it
talked
down to your
about, we did we did the facial thing, and we talked about doing a hair treatment sometime. We'll just haven't gotten around to doing that. Maybe after the first of the year, after everything's a little calmer.
yes, I have lots of good hair tips, lots of good. But the writing tips, like one other tip, this is I have 3 minutes. You probably already do this, but like for example, last night I was working on this LinkedIn scam. I've been writing a lot about scams. My ghost has been writing a lot about scams on Medium because I feel bad for people getting taken advantage of. I see it happening all the time. And LinkedIn is a hotbed of scammers. Oh my God, the things that happen there. And one of my friends got scammed on LinkedIn, by a recruiter. So I wrote this 5-minute story about all the things that can happen to you on LinkedIn if you're not careful. And I wrote it last night and I read it over right before I went to bed. And I went, this is not good enough. I need to clean it up. So I left my notebook computer. I use a Dell. I left it open and I highlighted the section that I had just finished, went to bed, slept, got up at 3 a.m., went into where my desk was, opened my Dell, and it was ready for me to go. And I was able to just sit down and pick up where I left off. A lot of writers waste a lot of time in the morning getting up and going. It was maybe I wasted 3 minutes. I made a cup of hot tea, sat down and started writing, which, that keeps your flow going. A lot of people lose their flow. They'll lose
Yeah.
stories while they're sleeping. So that's just you probably do something like that, right?
Yeah, well, I'll I try to write things down. If I think of an idea, I'll try to just write a sentence or whatever, and just to get it on there, because like I was talking to Walter about this yesterday, that I always think when I'm out and I think of an idea, I was like, well, that's really good. I'll remember that later. And then I can't trust myself to do that, because I will forget if I don't write it down. And this morning, actually, I woke up really early and I thought of a great idea that I want to implement in this coming year about live videos. I'm not going to get into it right now because I need to talk to somebody else about it. But um, I was like, this is a really good idea. I'll remember this later. And I thought, no, I've got to at least. So I took out my phone and did a voice recorder, and I recorded a voice note, like just a basic idea of what I wanted to do, and just in case. And that's one thing Walter has recommended too. He said when he's out walking around and stuff, he has his voice recorder and he makes voice notes about
Yeah.
what he's going to write about and stuff.
Yeah, I do
So
that
those
too.
are yeah, yeah.
I do
So
that too.
I need to start doing that a little more.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you read it, but one of my ghost wrote a story about how the ice machine in my house in the refrigerator that my husband has this love-hate relationship with the ice machine. And I got that by sitting at the table one day and he was cursing and swearing and fighting, fighting with the ice machine. And so I pick up my phone and I go, this would be a great humor story. Husband like battles to the death with the ice machine. And he goes, what are you doing? I go, oh, I'm going to write a story about you and the ice machine. He's like, sure, okay. But I
You've
did, it turned in
inspired me.
yeah, it was a great story, it turned out really, really well, and, like, that's a really I went for years to Hay House has a writers program. In fact, I'm still in it. I just don't go much to the classes anymore. The first thing they made us do was go out and buy little notebooks, those little tiny notebooks you can put in your handbag or your backpack, and a
Oh yeah,
pen.
yeah,
So you can always have something to write down because the number one thing writers do is they lose their inspiration. It just fritters away.
yeah, yeah. Well, we're over the hour. I don't want to go too long, but we have a lot that we could talk about, and hopefully you can come back on with me, or I'll come on with you, however you want to do it. But yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
talk to you
where have you
again about some
been?
of this.
Just look at all this stuff we needed to talk about. We did not
I
there was
know.
I'm sorry, I talk too much. I have a lot of Gemini in my chart. For anybody that's into astrology, I have a lot of Gemini. So you have
No,
a
but
lot of Virgo. Virgo and Gemini, they can
I
talk forever.
yeah, definitely. I am a Virgo,
I love
which
that,
yeah, yeah.
one of my favorite signs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my
Well,
late
that's
husband was a double Virgo.
see. I don't know. Well, we'll have to talk about that. I don't even know what that means. But well,
You wouldn't even tell me your birthday, so how can I figure that
I
out?
know. I know. I don't want to tell people what my age is and stuff like that. I was born on a Friday at 2:30 something in the afternoon. Does that do anything for you?
No, but I would pinky swear. I would pinky swear. You can trust me.
I'll think
Pinky
about it.
swear. Okay. Well, I don't want to keep you either, even though I do know I've seen you on some of the lives with Wendy, and you guys have gone way over.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah. Well, the only reason I was like, because I know some people have this attention span that's only like they can only go so much, and if it goes over that, and then start losing people, and so I always just try to keep it like an hour. That seems to be like the standard around here. But
I know.
so
I do too, but I could talk to you forever.
yeah, I would like to talk to you more about maybe especially about some more of these writing strategies and stuff. If you're well,
I'm
I don't know
happy.
if you want to put those out there on the live or not, or
I'm
tell other
happy to
people
share
about
them.
them.
I'm probably going to put them into an ebook and give them as a freebie on Sazio. All
Oh
my
yeah,
information. I did publish some of them on Medium, and they got huge readership. But when Medium put me in the snafu tank, I lost it. Um, so,
yeah,
but I still have them. I mean, I didn't lose them. They're written down. I mean, they're floating out in my writer's universe, but I was going to put them into a book. But I'm happy to talk about that. I'm happy to share really cool hair recipes that people don't even know about that will probably get lost. You see bits and pieces of them on TikTok, but a lot of times the information they give is not accurate.
yeah. Well, they're probably relying on ChatGPT for like, how do I do this with my hair? Oh, you can take some peanut butter and oh,
And castor oil.
castor oil. Yeah,
That's the worst. Yeah. So I'm willing to share anything. Like I said, I haven't done very many my school starts up again in January, so, but I'm available. And if you just decide you don't want to do Christmas by yourself, I am happy to jump on with you. So just let
Yeah,
me
I
know.
haven't decided exactly what I'm doing because I spend Christmas with my family the day after Christmas, so I'm probably gonna bake something, so I might be doing that on Christmas Day.
Oh,
I
that
don't
would be
know yet,
cool. Okay.
so
I'm just
I don't know. We'll see.
offering,
Oh
since
yeah,
you said,
no, I
hey,
appreciate it.
since you said
And to
KR
act,
graciously did 3 this month, I feel like
yes,
I haven't
yes.
been pulling my Brandon weight here.
Oh no, well, I mean, obviously you've been so busy doing so many other things.
Weird
I mean,
things,
I
right?
can completely understand it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what about tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
I'm available.
Because I thought about doing a Mad Libs, but I don't know how many people will join on Christmas Eve, day or whatever. So
I'm game if you want me. We're the only thing we're doing this year, is keeping in mind that, my husband is the other end of building a company. So he's upstairs in his den programming. He's a
yeah,
software wizard. So he's up there writing code. Well, I think you dealt with him when you had a snafu, and he said to me,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, Brandon found an error. I'm going to rewrite that whole part of the platform." I'm like, "What?" He
Oh
goes, "Yeah,
gosh,
I'm going to fix it. It needs to be good. Brandon found a mistake. I'm going to fix it." I said, "Okay." So I see him in the morning when we wake up. I see him at lunch for 30 minutes, and then I see him at dinner, and that's it. The rest of the day, he's up there burning up keyboards, with
oh
software.
yeah.
But he said to me, this year, Les, we have a family friend. All my relatives live away because they're trying to kill me. I'm only kidding. But they all live in
Well,
far away
yeah. See, it
states.
sounds like it.
Yeah. My stepson, by the way, lives in Washington. He lives in Seattle, so it would be hard for
Oh,
him to, travel just to Dallas to knock me off. I guess he'd hire somebody to knock me off. Although I don't think he will at this point because the wife that he had, she's long gone. So, she
yeah, and
was
he's
the
not getting
instigator.
anything out of it. So
She was the instigator. But no, we
yeah.
don't have a lot of family here, but we do have a family friend, and he likes to smoke meats. He loves to smoke meats.
Oh,
And so he's double smoking a ham, whatever that means. He double smoked a turkey at Thanksgiving and brought it over, and then we did all the other stuff. We had the mac and
I've
cheese and the
I've
rolls,
had
and
smoked turkey before, and it was good.
it was very, very good. It was very juicy, but,
Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna do the ham, so I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but he's coming over on Thursday around noon. So other than that, I mean, we did decorate our house. Our whole house is lit up with lights and stuff, and we have a Christmas tree. We decorated
Oh
that.
yes.
We don't
I have
even.
4 Christmas trees.
You do?
Yes.
No way.
I have one in my living room, which is in front of the window. It's my main one. But when usually do lives in this room, and so I was like, well, I've got to have a Christmas background. So I put the tree up
I love
there
it.
and put my
I thought that
stuff.
was your bathroom. I thought you were broadcasting from
Okay.
your bathroom.
My back? No, no, no.
I love that. Yeah. No, my husband's he loves Christmas, but like I said, in fact, a friend of mine said, "Where have you been? I haven't seen you." I said, "Well, we're starting a business. I'm in graduate school and I wrote a cookbook." So I've been a little busy, but anyway, we did
Yeah.
Christmas. We did decorate, and our wedding anniversary is at the end of this month. We've been married forever, happily, but we're not even doing much for that. We're going to go out to dinner, but we just don't really, we're really, I guess we're mentally ill because we love to work so much. That's probably it. There's some sort of illness, mental illness for working, but we love what we do. We have
Well,
fun, it's not
well,
like
that's what I was
working.
gonna say. If you love what you do, then it's really I don't. It's hard to call it work, really.
Yeah. But, you have so much you write so great, and you have so much potential, and, if
Oh,
I can
thank
help
you.
you in any way, I wanna see you. I told you this when I first met you on Medium. I'm a huge fan. I wanna see you rise to the top. I wanna see you on wherever it is you wanna be, stand up or whatever you're doing. I wanna see you there. I wanna see you
Yeah.
rise to the top.
Well, I'm gonna look into more of the cooking, baking stuff. I'm gonna do audio I think I'm gonna try to do more podcasts going into next year, maybe because I typically do just one a week, like an audio podcast once a week, and I'm thinking about adding another one and see how it goes. But I need to do something to make more money on doing my writing and podcasts and stuff because
Yeah. Well,
I'm just not there yet.
I know. Well,
Uh,
like I said, as soon as we are Stripe enabled now. So as soon as we can
yeah,
start, we're not charging anything right now, but as soon
yeah,
as we can start charging for our content, we're going to start paying writers. And we do have one person who's doing our social media for us, but I don't know how long she'll be able to do that because there's a lot of reasons why I won't go into. But if she's out, maybe I need to talk to you about doing some stuff to help us. Maybe you could help us with the writers contest that we're going to do. I mean,
oh
I would
yeah.
pay you. I would pay you. If you help me do anything, I would pay you, of
I've only
course.
done that once. I on Medium. Uh, Martin. What was it? Martin Morrison, I think was his name. There was a Bouncing and Behaving Poetry.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and he did a writing contest and he asked if I would be one of the judges of that. So
Oh, good. Did you?
I helped him out with that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a couple of years ago,
Okay,
but,
yeah, he closed that pub down.
yeah, I figured, I haven't even tried to post anything there for a long time. And so
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
even know
it's
if it
not
still
there. It's
existed.
gone. I
Oh
was the
yeah.
backup editor, and trust me, there's nothing there. So, but no, we
Yeah.
want to do that because a lot of people have asked for it. They've asked us to do that, and in fact, even Robin said, it would be really cool if you could do writing contests. And by
Yeah.
the way, if you write anything and post it anywhere, if you want to just switch it up a tiny bit so Google doesn't get mad at you, we would love to have you reposting on Sazio because we love your work.
Yeah. Well,
You're always
I
welcome there.
wrote I know I wrote one original article for them for you and I I think I might have reposted something there, but I don't know how much I changed it up. At that time, of course, I didn't know. So
Was
I just
just an offer if you need a backup,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
wanna post it somewhere else. Like, I really try to stick with Medium, Substack, Sazio,
yeah,
HairBoutique.com is mine, and then I post on Quora. I have, like,
yeah.
35 or 40,000 followers on Quora, so I like to get over there
Yeah,
every
I
once
don't
in a
know
while.
anything about that one. I haven't looked at that at all, but
It's question and answers mainly.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can do some blogging there, whatever. But yeah, I don't do much on Facebook anymore. I used to, but then they went and deleted a bunch of I had made a bunch of audio tapes and they deleted all of them. And that was heartbreaking. So I don't post
Now,
there hardly ever.
Facebook, I don't know. I am very much against Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. I do not
I'm not
like the
on
way he
there.
does things.
No, I have a lot
So,
of followers, but I don't go there. And LinkedIn, I used to like LinkedIn, but after I wrote this article about all the scams that are happening, oh my gosh. If I didn't have a business, I would go in and delete my account. I mean, it was so eye opening. I was sitting there like
oh, I am
shocking.
on LinkedIn and it's kind of like Medium. I don't say too many bad things about LinkedIn because I have gotten jobs from being
Okay,
on
good.
there, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
I
I don't
don't.
say
I
bad things about anybody, really.
oh no, I mean you can say whatever you want, but
No, I
I'm
mean, I
just
just
I
want to warn people that they have to be careful.
right, yeah, and I don't. The only thing I do, I mean, I post my clips are automatically uploaded there from my live videos and stuff, and I post my articles on there. I don't feel like I get a whole lot of traction from that, but I still put it out there just in case. But anyway, yeah, yeah, I don't. I get messages all the time, and I just ignore them basically because, like you said, some of them, yeah, I mean, you can a lot of them you can tell they message you and say, "Oh, Brandon, I'm really impressed by your work with blah 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 blah." I'm like, whatever, just I just ignore them.
You
But
want another secret so you don't have to read my 5-minute story? This is a big secret. If you post that badge open to work, that is
oh yeah,
what they look for. They look for open to work and they zone in on those people. So you never want to post open for work. Although the issue is if you are open to work and you are looking for a job, what do you do? If you
right,
post it, it sets you up to be scammed, but then there are legitimate recruiters there who might be looking for that. But that's just one thing
yeah.
that puts you in a danger zone when you put open for employment. That
I I have had that open. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's turned on at this moment, but I've had it open for a while. But I guess I mean I have been fortunate because I've gotten legitimate. I've worked for legitimate companies. I've gotten paid and everything. I've done the work. So I guess I've been lucky or fortunate in that way. But um, yeah, I don't do a whole lot on there anymore. I just post my articles and stuff, see if I get any hits from it. But
Oh, why
yeah.
not? If you
Yeah.
get new eyeballs, why not, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I look at my stats on Substack, and I see where stuff comes from. And every once in a while, I see something from uh, somebody from LinkedIn that has found my stuff. So, but anyway,
When you talk to me about all these writing secrets I have a ton of how to increase your subscriber base on paid subscriber base on Substack. I have not had time to really I have about 650 subscribers, but I don't have very many paid subscribers, but I haven't really tried to get paid subscribers because I've been
yeah,
doing like a million other things, but I do know if I did these things, they would be successful. I'm happy to share those with you since I do know you are, for
yeah,
Brandon Elvis is so gay, you are looking to get paid
right.
subscribers. And I've actually been decreasing the number. I used to pay for about 25 subscriptions. I've cut that way down because I'm never there. I never can read them.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
people like you, I will if I see you pop up, I'll stop in. Like I said, I go to the Daily Whatever every day, but that's it. I mean,
right.
there's so many people there that are friends of mine that I never even see their stuff because I just don't have time. And it's like, well, I'm not going to pay for a subscription if I'm never going to read it. And then my mailbox explodes every month.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't get the stuff in the email. I mean, I get the notifications of people going live, but I don't get articles because I've got that turned off. I was like, I just get too many emails. I just do it I get the notifications on my phone, and so I can. That's to me, that's a lot easier. I can just click on it and read it
How did you
if I
turn it
have the
off?
time.
Did you go to each individual subscription and turn it off?
I think so. I
Oh,
think that's how I did it.
okay.
I'm not subscribed to a whole lot of people. I follow a bunch, but actual subscriptions, I don't really have that many, and so it's not as hard to turn those off.
Okay.
But
Because yeah, my email was just blowing up. So I had to go in and there was probably 10 paid subscriptions I had to people that I just would never I could never get to their stuff. I'd go, "Oh, I'd like to read this, but I just don't have time." There are still some some people and I don't subscribe to you, but I should. But I'm sorry.
well, no, I mean, listen, I know that there are so many out here, and you can't subscribe to everyone you want to. But like as far as subscriptions, I subscribe to people who are paid subscribers to me. Like if you become a paid subscriber, I will subscribe to your blog, and I try to people that like the Lita. I had her on my live earlier this month. She's a paid subscriber, and I always promote her stuff. I read her articles and I quote them and I put them out there because I feel like I want to pay back my paid subscribers. So I read their stuff and I promote them and I
Interesting.
bring them on lives.
I at one point had 25 paid subscribers and not a single one of them paid to subscribe to my stuff. So that is quite eye-opening what you just said. That is giving me food for thought, Brandon. I may be unsubscribing from some and subscribing to you.
Yeah, and the ones that pay me, I don't always. I'm not a paid subscriber to them necessarily, but I at least subscribe to a free subscription at least, and I get their stuff and I read it and I want to
Well, I
support
do
them.
subscribe to your free version. I am one of your
Right,
free.
right. Oh yeah, I
I
know
have
that.
been
Yeah,
since you started, but I
yeah.
mean paid ones. Yeah, paid ones.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a couple people that I support very intensely, and I pay for them, but they subscribe to my free, but they don't pay for my paid subscription. So, you know,
Yeah, and I mean, you can't do that with everybody because
no,
you'd never make any money if you're
right.
just
Yeah,
trading subscriptions
right.
back and forth. But
Yeah, you wouldn't. Right.
yeah,
Well, we'll have to figure out some way, once we start getting some revenue here for Sazio, we'll have to figure out some ways that maybe we can, use you to help us in some ways. We always the people that help us, we pay them. In fact, we had a high school kid that we paid to come in and try to break Sazio. He spent like 2 weeks trying to break it.
Oh, oh
And we
yeah,
paid
that's
him
cool.
we paid him to try and break it. He didn't break it, but he tried. He tried all
That's
kinds of
cool.
weird stuff and putting weird stuff in weird places, but, yeah, we paid him to do that, and like I said, we have a Pinterest expert that she only works part-time a little bit, but we do pay her for her work, and eventually, we hope to have more people that we can pay that help us. We don't want
Yeah.
people to work for free. That's not
And what
okay.
another thing that helped me is putting the buy me a coffee link on there. I've gotten several people who've used that, and because if
Oh,
they don't want to do a recurring subscription, they'll just buy me 3 coffees or whatever it is, whatever
cool.
they choose.
I don't have those anywhere. By the way, Buy Me a Coffee is active on Sazio. You can put your Buy Me a Coffee link on Sazio. We have it. It was the
Oh,
first
okay,
thing we got, the first app that we got. Buy Me a Coffee is
okay.
on there. So
Yeah, I'll
you
have
can do
to
that.
add that link on some of my
Please
stuff.
do. Please do. Wow. Okay. Well, I noticed that Stuart Cohen is on there. I really like him. I see him all the time. Hi, Stuart. I don't know if he
Oh,
knows who I am, but
I
Stuart
don't think
Cohen.
that's not a name that I recognize.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
see him all the time on various lives. So
Okay,
hi, Stuart. Saying
okay.
hi.
Well,
But
hello,
anyway,
Stuart.
I let me know if you want me to, step in for you. I'm available. I'm available the rest of the month. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm working. What am I talking about? I'm working, but I can always stop,
Yeah.
and I would for you. So just let me know.
Well, I'll let you know. I'll see what how things are gonna go. I just didn't even ask anybody for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or New Year's Day. I'm like, that people probably have their holiday stuff. I've got a couple people next I've got Monday and Tuesday people on next week, but that's I guess that's the last 2 of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
31st. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But
I'm always available. In fact, you know what? Like I said, I haven't done the last live I did was on Thanksgiving Day, and the Christopher, the 1 minute daily
oh,
inspiration.
1 minute daily boost.
Yeah, yeah. He sent me a message that morning and said, "Hey, Karen, I'm doing a live and I'm really worried nobody will come because it's Thanksgiving. Will you
Oh,
pop
yeah.
in?" And I said, "Okay." So,
Yeah.
in fact, I was doing a live with him and my husband's walking by with all the food and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll be done by dinner." He's like, and our guest showed up, and my husband said, "Don't talk to her. She's on a live." And the guest goes, "Why is she doing a live on Thanksgiving?" And he goes, "I don't know. It's a friend of hers. She wanted to support him. And so there she is." And so up until we were ready to eat, I was on the live with Christopher. I call him Christopher. He's one, but
Yeah.
some people call him one, but I always call him Christopher. And he sent me a message. "Oh, thank you." He said, people didn't show up that much because it was Thanksgiving, but we did about an hour and a half together.
Oh, yeah.
And I told him, "Hey, anytime, but I'll have to do a live before the end of the year. And you should be my guest because you were one of my first guests. So I should close out the year with you. Maybe
Oh,
we could
yeah,
have Zach
sure.
co-star. Maybe we could have Zach.
Oh, he would be happy to. He likes attention, so I'm sure he would be fine with being on video.
Okay, well let's plan on that. We still have a few days left, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Let's
mean, I
private
can
message
always,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Arrange it. Okay.
All
And
right.
then let me know if
Well,
you want me on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. If not, no hard feelings. I don't care. I'm just offering as a
oh yeah,
goodwill.
yeah. I'll think about what I want to do, and then and I'll at least go live with you sometime before the end of the year. We
We'll
can
make it happen.
work that out. Well,
Okay.
thank you, Karen. If
It was
those of
wonderful.
you who are in the chat, if you are not subscribed to Karen Marie Shelton, go subscribe to her. She's got a cookbook that she has just finished, a vintage cookbook, and she's also on Sazio. I just put the link, or not the
Thank you.
link. I wish we would do. I wish they could do links.
I
You have to
know. Wouldn't it be
copy and
nice?
paste it
Would be
instead, but
nice.
you
Oh,
can
there's
copy and paste
Brushy.
it and go check it out. Hello,
Hi,
Brushy.
Brushy.
Well, I'm sorry you're just joining, but we're just saying goodbye.
But we're so happy to see you anyway. It was very nice.
Yes,
Cheers
you
back
can
to
always
you.
look. I am going to post this at some point, the
Whenever.
replay. So,
No
yeah.
hurry. I don't care. Okay, well, thank you, Brandon. It was
All right.
amazing, and I
Yes,
just
thank you.
you're my favorite person to do lives with.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, if I don't talk to you, happy holidays.
Thanks. Yes, you too.
Bye.
We'll message each other. All
Okay,
right. See
bye.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.